Good morning from, again, the 9/11 terrorist attacks this morning. We are going to be live in 9 minutes from now. We'll be live in 9 minutes from now. Stay tuned, again, 9 minutes till we're live to the 9/11 ceremonies here this morning. We're staying tuned into the 9/11 ceremonies this morning. We'll be live in about 8 minutes from now. 8 minutes from now, we'll be live. We'll be bringing you live coverage of today's 9/11 terrorist attacks of 2001. Today, we remember those who passed away. Remember those who lost their loved ones. Remember those who has lost their loved ones on the 9/11 day or beforehand. Remember those who have moved on. And again, we are remembering those who are dedicating their lives on the line of their 9/11 duties. Today is, again, Memorial Day. Today, remember those who have lost loved ones in the terrorist attacks, or remember those who lost their lives before the 9/11 or on the 9/11 day. The stream will be starting momentarily. Again, welcome aboard. Everybody is welcome in this room today to watch the 9/11 terrorist attacks ceremonies today across the world. Today is a sad day. Remember those who lost their loved ones and who put their lives on the line of the 9/11 day. We'll be beginning in about 7 minutes from now, so stay tuned. We'll be beginning in about 7 minutes from now. So good morning again from the 9/11 terrorist attacks morning of the 9/11. We got about 5 more minutes till the ceremony has started. So again, 5 more minutes and we'll be live. We'll be right back in 5 minutes. So stay tuned. We'll be right back in 5 minutes. So good morning from the 9/11 ceremonies this morning. We are going live to the 9/11 this morning. Again, we are awaiting the ceremony to start in 3 minutes from now. So again, we are awaiting the 9/11 this morning. Wherever you're joining, welcome aboard this morning to the 9/11 this morning. Whoever is around the world who is watching or who's watching on my channel, welcome aboard this morning. We are awaiting the 9/11 this morning. It's the first Monday of a long while that I have not gone live. It's the first Monday that I went live for quite a while. So welcome aboard on the Monday morning, on the 9/11 morning. We're just waiting on the ceremony to start. So welcome aboard. Good morning, whoever is watching on the channel this morning. We're just waiting on the 9/11 this morning, in about 2 minutes from now. And we got about 60 seconds till the commitments of the ceremony starting of the 9/11. Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard, whoever's watching on my channel. And again, once this is started, we will not be talking. We will be listening in to the 9/11 ceremonies this morning. Welcome aboard, whoever's watching on the channel. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We ask all people to make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure, don't forget, again, subscribe and hit that like button on my channel. We're just awaiting the ceremony now. We're just awaiting.
Should start soon.
Yeah. Again, before we do, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on my channel. It is free to do. It is important to do. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on your way in. We ask everybody to make sure that you're doing that. Again, you'll stay tuned onto my live streams anywhere I go or what I do on the live stream. You'll get a notification when I go live. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and make sure that you hit the thumbs button up on Facebook as well, if you haven't done so.
It says 8:34.
Yeah, I know, it's running a few minutes late. Just we're waiting patiently to start. We are just waiting for the 9/11 start, guys, so just be patient and wait. We're just waiting patiently to be starting. Again, we're waiting for the 9/11 start. Make sure that you don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It is free to do on the YouTube channel, and you'll get all the notifications when I go live. Again, good morning from the 9/11 terrorist attacks. This morning we're going live very shortly. As soon as it goes live, we'll be live here momentarily. We're just waiting on the 9/11 this morning. It is live on YouTube this morning. We're also live on the YouTube channel on my channel this morning, watching this 9/11. It is running a bit late behind schedule this morning, guys, so just be patient. We are running a bit behind. They're running behind schedule. They're running about 2 minutes late on this, so just be patient and wait. We'll be right back. We'll be putting our be right back sign on. We will be right back shortly. So don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It is free to do on my channel. And it will be right back.
My bones. Did you do that?
No. Well, yeah, because I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
The beauty of being here is sweater weather.
Here, it's hiking weather.
And the beauty of being here is that we've got everything you need to make the most of fall out there. Find all things simple at Mark's.
On 9/11, he told me, and he was then ordered to come down to Ground Zero to help with rescue and recovery. He did it with such love and professionalism. His creativity and immense talent, his sense of humor, his wide smile, as you can see there, and most importantly, his big heart.
So guys, so just we have audio problems, so we're trying to get the audio fixed. Just give us a few minutes to get the audio done. We're just having audio problems.
Something happens, and we have to. We want you to watch this. Some of you will dip in and out. Others will be there for the entire time. We'll see you at the other end of this memorial service.
This is 9/11, September the 11th, guys. Please rise as the national anthem is playing. Please rise.
We're so gathered.
Abad.
Andrew Anthony Abate.
Vincent Paul Abate.
Lawrence Christopher Abel.
Alona Abraham.
William F. Abrahamson.
Richard Anthony Aceto.
Heinrich Bernard Ackerman.
Paul Aqua Viva.
Christian Adams.
Donald Leroy Adams.
Patrick Adams.
Shannon Lewis Adams.
Stephen George Adams.
Ignatius Udu Adanga.
Christy A. Adamo.
Terrence Edward Adderley Jr.
Sophia B. Otto.
Lee Adler.
Daniel Thomas Afalito.
Emmanuel Akwazi Afakwa.
Alok Agrawal.
Mukul Kumar Agarwala.
Joseph Agnello.
David Scott Agnes.
Joel Alberto da Fonseca Aguilar Jr.
Brian G. Ahern.
Jeremy Joseph Ahern.
Joanne Marie Aliadotis.
Sabir Ahmed.
Terrence Andre Aiken.
Godwin O. Ajala.
Trudy M. Alagero.
Andrew Alamino.
Margaret Ann Alario.
Gary M. Albero.
John Wesley Albert.
Peter Craig Alderman.
And my sister, Jody Tabagino Nicolo. Tower 1, 105th floor, Cantor Fitzgerald. We miss you, Jody. We love you. Your light still shines as bright as it ever did. Rest in peace.
And my grandfather, Raymond Matthew Downey Sr., who tragically lost his life on that day with the many others. Poppy, your hard work, dedication, and perseverance for the FDNY will never be unnoticed. Your legacy will live on forever. Your beautiful wife, Rosalie, 5 kids, 16 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild all wish you were here today, but we know you are looking down on us. We miss you, we love you, and until we meet again, our hero forever.
Jacqueline Delane Aldridge Frederick.
David D. Alger.
Ernest Alakakos.
Edward L. Allegretto.
Eric Allen.
Joseph Ryan Allen.
Richard Dennis Allen.
Richard L. Allen.
Christopher E. Allingham.
Anna S. W. Allison.
Janet Marie Alonzo.
Anthony Alvarado.
Antonio Javier Alvarez.
Victoria Alvarez Brito.
Telmo E. Alvier.
Caesar Amaranto Alviar.
Tariq Amanullah.
Angelo Amaranto.
James M. Amato.
Joseph Amatuccio.
Paul W. Ambrose.
Christopher Charles Amoroso.
Craig Scott Amunso.
Kazuhiro Anai.
Calisto Anaya Jr.
Joseph P. Anchondia.
Kermit Charles Anderson.
Yvette Constance Anderson.
John Jack Andracchio.
Michael Rourke Andrews.
Jean Ann Andrucki.
Sue Nia Ang.
Joseph Angelini Sr.
Joseph John Angelini Jr.
David Lawrence Angel.
Mary Lynn Edwards Angel.
Laura Angeletta.
Doreen J. Angersani.
Lorraine Antigua.
Sema David Ioyama.
And my father, firefighter Jonathan Lee ILB. Our family misses you every day, and we miss you very much. May you rest in peace.
And for my uncle, firefighter Jimmy Richards, tomorrow would have been your 52nd birthday.
Even though I never got to meet you, I will never forget you. My sisters, cousins, and I are so proud of you. We love you forever. Happy birthday, Uncle Jimmy. God bless America.
Well said.
Peter Paul Apollo.
Faustino Apostle Jr.
Frank Thomas Aquilino.
Patrick Michael Araños.
David Gregory Archit.
Michael George Archinsky.
Louis Arena.
Barbara Jean Aristegui.
Adam P. Arias.
Michael J. Armstrong.
Jack Charles Aaron.
Joshua Todd Aaron.
Richard Avery Arano.
Myra Joy Aronson.
Japhet Jesse Arye.
Carl Francis Asaro.
Michael A. Asiak.
Michael Edward Asher.
Janice Marie Ashley.
Thomas J. Ashton.
Manuel O. Asidembe.
Greg A. Atlas.
Gerald Thomas Atwood.
James Audifred.
Louis F. Aversano Jr.
Ezra Aviles.
Sandy Ayala.
Arlene T. Babaquitas.
Eustace R. Bacchus.
John J. Badagliaka.
Jane Ellen Basler.
Robert J. Fairwalter.
Andrew J. Bailey.
Brett T. Bailey.
Garnet Ace Bailey.
Tatiana Bakalinskaya.
Michael S. Bach.
Sharon M. Balcom.
Michael Andrew Bain.
Catherine Bantis.
And my father, John Leslie Albert. He was a great man, filled the room with his presence, missed by those who knew him. One other thing I want to say, the median age of all the names I read was 37. These were people in the prime of their lives. They had a lot to live for. They simply went to work one day and never returned. May we always remember them.
And my father, Andrew Stern, you are remembered, missed, and loved so very much every day.
Firefighter Gerard Baptiste.
Walter Baring.
Firefighter Gerard A. Barbera.
Paul Vincent Barbaro.
American Airlines Flight to Christine Jonah Barbuda.
Victor Daniel Barbosa.
David Michael Barquay.
Colleen Ann Barco.
At the Pentagon, United States Navy P.O. Melissa Rose Barnes.
Matthew Barnes.
Evan J. Barron.
Sheila Patricia Barnes.
Firefighter Arthur Thaddeus Berry.
Renee Barrett Arjun.
Police Officer Maurice Vincent Berry.
Diane G. Berry.
Carlton W. Bartels.
Scott D. Barton.
Enna B. Vecino.
Guy Barsby.
Kenneth William Bisnicki.
Alicia Christine Burton Basmajian.
Paul James Batalanga.
Stephen Joseph Bates.
Ivan Louis Carpio Batusta.
W. David Bauer.
Mark Lawrence Bavis.
Marlon Capito Batista.
Lorraine G. Bay.
Jasper Baxter.
Todd M. Beamer.
Michelle Beal.
Jane S. Beatty.
Paul Frederick Bettini,
Lawrence Ira Beck,
Alan Anthony Beaven,
and my grandfather, firefighter Alan Teresiarich. As I'm growing up, I'm hearing so many stories. My brothers and I feel like we get to know you, but still, I wish I had a chance to really know you. Everyone in the family misses you. We will never forget, and we love you.
Alan Anthony Beaven, Manette Marie Beckles, Michael Ernest Beekman, and my uncle, Ian Schneider. We love you so much. Yo, dude.
Maria A. Bear,
Max J. Bilkey,
Elena Belovsky,
Nina Patrice Bell,
Debbie S. Bellows,
Stephen Elliott Belson,
Paul M. Benedetti,
Denise Lenore Benedetto,
Brian Craig Bennett,
Eric L. Bennett,
Oliver Bennett,
Margaret L. Benson,
Dominic Berardi,
James Patrick Berger,
Stephen Howard Berger,
John P. Bergen,
Alvin Bergson,
Daniel David Bergstein,
Graham Ed,
Michael J. Berkeley,
Donna M. Bernards,
David W. Bernard,
William H. Bernstein,
David M. Beret,
David Shelby Berry,
Joseph John Berry,
William Reed Bethke,
Yanene Bitru,
Timothy D. Bedley,
Carol Mayer Bugh,
Edward Frank B.A.,
Paul Michael Bear,
Anil Tataliram Baravanate,
Bella J. Buchan,
Jimmy D. A. Gelson,
Peter Alexander Beifeld,
William G. Biggert,
Brian Eugene Filcher,
Mark Bingham,
Carl Vincent Binney,
and my nephew, firefighter Michael Roberts, who was joined by his mom in spirit 2 days ago last year on September 9th. And Michael, I stood there that night and I saw the wreckage and knew I'd never see you alive again. And something came to me, this voice, I could hear him saying, Uncle Joe, that's awesome, Uncle Joe, that's awesome. And I thought how much he loved me. And I asked why. And the answer came that I have to live the life and be the man that he loves so much. And that's what our loved ones leave us with. God bless.
and my uncle, Edward James White III. Uncle Teddy, which each year that goes by, we love and miss you more and more. We are so proud of you, and you are truly an American hero. Gary Eugene Byrne,
Joshua David Birnbaum,
George John Bishop,
Chris Romeo Bishunda,
Jeffrey Donald Bittner,
Albert Valero
Jeffrey.
Blackman Jr.,
Christopher Joseph
Yeah.
Blackwell,
But you?
Gary Rosette
No, it's a different Jeffrey.
Susan Leigh Blair,
Harry Blanding Jr.,
Janice Lee Lanny,
Craig Michael Glass,
Rita Blau,
Richard Middleton Blood Jr.,
Michael Andrew Bacardi,
John Paul Bocci,
Michael L. Bocchino,
Susan M. Bocchino,
Dira Francis Bodley,
Bruce Douglas Bone,
Mary Catherine Murphy Boa,
Nicholas Andrew Bogdan,
Yes, easy.
Darren Christopher Bohan.
Lawrence Francis Balso.
Vincent M. Boland Jr.
Tori Hamzavi Bolorchi.
I'm Diana Sade, and welcome to ABC News Live. You were just watching a moment of silence as we commemorate the 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. This moment of silence marked the moment the second plane, United Airlines Flight 175, crashed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. Nearly 3,000 people were killed at the Twin Towers site, the Pentagon, and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania on September 11, 2001, in the deadliest terror attack on U.S. soil. Today, Americans all over the country are gathering at memorials, firehouses, city halls, and elsewhere to remember those lives lost. And our senior investigative reporter, Aaron Kuchersky, joins me live now from the 9/11 Memorial in Manhattan, along with former NYPD detective, 9/11 World Trade Center first responder, Mark Claxton. Aaron, 22 years later, what's it like at the memorial right now?
At this point, 22 years ago, Diane, the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center were on fire, and thick black smoke was rising like what Pete Hamill later called an evil genie that took hold over the skies of Manhattan, killing nearly 3,000 people and continuing to kill 22 years later. The ceremony is being attended by Vice President Kamala Harris, political candidates like Ron DeSantis, the mayor, the governor, and other dignitaries. But it is a day that is remarkably free of politics, and the kind of unity that took hold, fleeting though it may have been, does seem to prevail, at least for several hours, as the focus remains on the names of those who have died and the loved ones reading them and attending, coming to the 9/11 Memorial and Museum, clutching photographs and mementos, flowers, leaving them along the parapets, along the memorial pools. Many children of those who were killed here taking rubbings, because this is very much a complicated day. It is a day of death and memory and mourning and sorrow, and a day of anger for some. Many of the families who come here each year, some only come sporadically, many have never come here at all because it's just too painful.
Now, Mark, you were there that day as a first responder. What goes through your head every year when we remember what happened on 9/11, and how does it feel to think that was 22 years ago?
Diane, this is a national day of service and remembrance. It's called Patriots Day. But for many of us, first responders, those people who were actually on the ground at the different sites, it will always be a day of mourning. So it is a very solemn day, a very difficult and painful day for many of us. It really triggers for far too many of us the feeling of survivor's guilt.
Can you talk a little bit more about that, Mark? Because I actually hear that a lot when I talk to people who were there that day.
Matter of fact, the losses continue to this day. Just last week, I lost another friend, Jones from the NYPD, Manhattan North, and just from Midtown North, and this has been going on for 22 solid years. Painful, arduous, taxing losses. Every day, every week, every year, we lost another colleague, another friend, another person who responded or was impacted directly by the toxic ash and the environmental poisons.
And Aaron, that's a part of this that we often forget. The death toll from 9/11 isn't just what happened on that day. It keeps rising. Just last week, the FDNY added 43 new names to its World Trade Center memorial wall. And the department now says, in addition to the 343 people they lost on that day, on 9/11, nearly the same amount, another 331, have died since. of 9/11 related illnesses. So what more do you know about those victims in that part of the story?
Fire Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh put it this way this morning, Diane. She said that 9/11 for the FDNY is an ongoing emergency because so many of its members were not only killed that day, as you say, 343, but then another 331 in the last 22 years. For the NYPD, as Mark undoubtedly knows well, 23 members of the NYPD died on 9/11, 360 in the last 22 years.
So we just had two silent. Remember, like we had two silence already for the 9/11 this morning. We had one at 8:46, and then we just had one just a few minutes ago for the 9/11 day. We had two moment of silence already, and we're about to be getting another one very shortly. So again, welcome aboard onto the live channel of the 9/11. Again, we ask everybody, please make sure that you don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you haven't done so, please do so. It helps the channel out. Again, this is the 9/11 day. Today is a very sad day. Again, remembrance of the 9/11.
And many of them from ailments and illnesses. And I think the numbers even that the fire department and the police department are able to give as far as numbers of deaths related directly to the event are really undercounting, because there are many illnesses that have yet to been directly attached to the toxic environment down in 9/11. So there are a lot of other people who've lost their lives for a whole host of weirdo cancers and respiratory illnesses, cardiovascular diseases that may very well be directly connected to 9/11 that have not been formally included for compensation. So the struggle continues. This will always be a day of mourning. This will always be, of course, a day of remembrance, but the death continues, and it will continue here on out. And many of us understand and recognize there's a particular vulnerability that we face. So many people, many years after service, after even retirement, have contracted or been diagnosed with one of these weirdo kind of illnesses that are directly related to the events and pass away from it. So I remain vulnerable, as many of my other first responder colleagues remain.
All right, Aaron Katersky, Mark Claxton, thank you both. And all through the morning, ABC News Live will be honoring the lives lost on 9/11. Meanwhile, nearly 2,500 people are dead after a devastating earthquake in Morocco. Search teams are now trying to find survivors buried in the rubble as the U.S. pledges aid to the country. Foreign correspondent Tom Sufi-Burridge is there in Morocco with the latest.
The terrifying moment that 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck Morocco. Violently shaking buildings. People running for their lives in Marrakesh. Debris raining down. Watch on the left, a man somehow getting out as the building collapses. The powerful tremors devastating communities in the high Atlas Mountains south of Marrakesh.
No, they're just doing the earthquakes now. They're doing some news updates now. But they'll be going back to the 9/11 soon.
The deadliest earthquake in Morocco in more than 60 years. Our team reaching one village badly hit, so many homes flattened with families trapped inside.
There were 4 houses here. Look at it now.
Respect life, honor, and trust.
And my wife, Deborah Kaplan. Debbie, we love you and miss you.
David G. Carlone. Rosemary C. Carlson. Mark Stephen Cartney. Joyce N. Carpinello. Peter J. Carroll. Michael T. Carroll. James Joseph Carson. Angeline C. Carter. James Marcel Cartier. Sharon N. Carver. Vivian Casaldi. John Francis Casaza. Paul Regan Casio. Neely Ann Heffernan Casey. William Joseph Cashman. Thomas Anthony Casori. William Otto Castro. Alejandro Castañez. Arcelia Castilla. Werner M. Castellano. Jose Ramon Castro. William E. Caswell. Robert John Garfield. Christopher Sean Caton. Judson Cavalier. Mary Teresa Owen. Jason David Kane. Michael Joseph Qualley. Marsha G. Cecil Carter. Jason Michael Cephalou. Thomas Joseph Seelick. Ana Mercedes Centeno. Joni Sesta. John J. Chara. Jeffrey Mark Chernoff. Suana Chalasani. And my uncle Christopher S. Our time together was special. So were the memories we made. Although you live in heaven now, those memories will never fade. I bow my head in silence and remember my uncle with love. And I know that you are in heaven, watching from above. We miss you, your family misses you very deeply. Rest in peace, uncle, and God bless America. And my uncle, Jaime Concepcion. We love you, we miss you very much. You were the one person in the family who can count on to help anybody. Hope you and grandma are together in heaven. She didn't get to say goodbye to you, and you didn't say goodbye to her, but she followed you 4 days later to be with you. I hope you both are together watching over us. Amen.
Amen.
William A. Chalkoff.
Eli Chalou.
Charles Lawrence Chan.
Mandy Chang.
Rosa Maria Chapa.
Mark Lawrence Charette.
David M. Chalabois.
Gregorio Manuel Chavez.
Pedro Francesco Checo.
Douglas McMillan Cherry.
Stephen Patrick Cherry.
Vernon Paul Cherry.
Nestor Julio Chevalier Jr.
Sweet Joseph Chevalier.
Alexander H. Chiang.
Dorothy J. Chicharo.
Luis Alfonso Chimbo.
Robert Chin.
Eddie Wing Wei Ching.
Nicholas Paul Chafalo.
John G. Chipura.
Peter A. Chicharillo.
Catherine Ellen Charles.
Kwang Hee Casey Cho.
Abdul K. Chowdhury.
Mohammed Salahuddin Chowdhury.
Kristen Lael Christoph.
Pamela Chu.
Stephen Paul Chucknick.
Wei Ching Chung.
Christopher Giaffardini.
Alex F. Chacon.
Francis Ann Salente.
Elaine Silo.
Edna Sinchon.
Nestor Andre Sinchon III.
Robert D. Siri Sr.
Juan Pablo Cisneros.
Benjamin Keith Clark.
Eugene Clark.
And my brother Joseph Michael Giacconi. 22 years are like 22 seconds. I forced myself to remember that it wasn't yesterday or a month or a year. It was 22 years ago. My brother was murdered here. And this ceremony is essential. Me and other family members come here to listen to our loved ones' names be spoken out loud. Because if we hear their names, they are never forgotten and they never disappear.
Joe, we love you and miss you every day.
And my poppy, George Patrick Frank, firefighter from Rescue Company 3. I miss you and love you. I wish we got to take me fishing. We love you, Poppy.
Gregory Allen Clark.
Manny Leroy Clark.
Sarah M. Clark.
Thomas R. Clark.
Christopher Robert Clark.
Donna Marie Clark.
Michael J. Clark.
Saria Rachel Emma Clark.
Kevin Francis Cleary.
James D. Clear.
Jeffrey W. Cloud.
Susan
Jeffrey?
Marie Klein.
Stephen Copeland.
Jeffrey Allen Cole.
Patricia A. Cody.
Daniel Michael Coffey.
Jason Matthew Coffey.
Florence G. Cohen.
Kevin S. Cohen.
Anthony Joseph Coladonato.
Mark Joseph Kaleo.
Stephen J. Kaleo.
Christopher Michael Colasanti.
Kevin Nathaniel Colbert.
Michelle P. Colbert.
Keith E. Coleman.
Scott Thomas Coleman.
Terrell Coleman.
Liam Joseph Calhoun.
Robert D. Coleman.
Robert J. Hall.
Jean Marie Collins.
John Michael Collins.
Michael L. Collins.
Thomas Joseph Collins.
Joseph Kent Collison.
Jeffrey Dwayne Hallman.
Patricia Malia Calandra.
Linda M. Colon.
Sal E. Cologne.
And my cousin, who lit up a room, the eternal prankster, who will eternally be missed, John Michael Scarborough. We love you, Johnny. We miss you. Rest in peace.
And my grandfather, FDNY Captain James J. Corrigan. We love you and we miss you.
Ronald Edward Comer.
Amy Concepcion.
Albert Conde.
Denise Conley.
Susan P. Conlon.
Margaret Mary Connor.
Cynthia Marie Lease Conlon.
John E. Connolly Jr.
James Lee Connor.
Jonathan M. Connors.
Kevin Patrick Connors.
Kevin F. Conroy.
Brenda E. Conway.
Dennis Michael Cook.
Helen D. Cook.
Jeffrey W. Coombs.
John A. Cooper.
Julian T. Cooper.
Joseph John Copel Jr.
Gerard J. Coppola.
Joseph Albert Corbett.
John J. Corcoran III.
Alejandro Cordero.
Robert Joseph Cordes.
Ruben D. Correa.
Danny A. Correa Gutierrez.
Georgine Rose Corrigan.
James J. Corrigan.
Carlos Cortez Rodriguez.
Kevin Michael Cosgrove.
Dolores Marie Costa.
Digna Alexandra Costanza.
Charles Gregory Costello Jr.
Michael S. Costello.
Asia S. Cottom.
Conrad Kofi Cotty Sr.
Martin John Coughlin.
John G. Coughlin.
Timothy J. Coughlin.
James E. Cove.
And my brother, William Thomas Dean, to all the first responders, military, and workers that were lost that day and in the subsequent days from their response. Please remember them, and to all of you for being here and keeping the memory alive. Thank you.
And my uncle, Andrew LaPorte. Though I've only met him through stories from loved ones, he will always be in my heart.
Andre Colin Cox.
Frederick John Cox.
James Raymond Coyle.
Michelle Coyle Yulo.
Christopher Seaton Kramer.
Eric A. Cranford.
Denise Elizabeth Krantz.
James Leslie Crawford Jr.,
Robert James Crawford,
Tara Kathleen Kramer,
Joanne Mary Cregan,
Lucia Perfasi,
John A. Creasy,
Daniel Hal Christman,
Dennis A. Cross,
Kevin R. Crotty,
Thomas G. Crotty,
John R. Crow,
Wills Remy Crowther,
Robert L. Cruikshank,
John Robert Cruz,
Grace Alegre Kua,
Kenneth John Cubas,
Francisco Cruz Cubero,
Thelma Cuccinello,
Richard Joseph Cudina,
Neil James Cudmore,
Thomas Patrick Cullen III,
Joan Cullinan,
Joyce Rose Cummings,
Brian Thomas Cummins,
Michael Joseph Cunningham,
Robert Curatolo,
Lawrence Damian Curia,
Paul Dario Curioli,
Patrick Joseph Caravan,
Beverly L. Curry,
Andrew Peter Charles Curry,
Michael Sean Curry,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right.
and my godfather and uncle Richard Samuel Gabriel. We love you, we miss you. Every day we live our lives to honor you. Thank you to all the first responders who died trying to save our family members' lives, especially Battalion Chief Oreo Palmer, Fire Marshal Ronald Bucka, and thank you also. I want to acknowledge so many people are fighting 9/11 related illnesses. Many are not with us anymore. Thank you to those advocates out there, including John Field and John Stewart. And this museum and memorial is so important. We need it. We thank you for giving us this opportunity to honor our veterans.
My uncle, Matthew J. Brooks. The life you lived and the memories you left behind will be forever cherished. Family members are like stars. You don't always see them, but you always know they're there. God bless you, Uncle Matt, and God bless America.
Gavin Cushney,
Callan Aaron Dack,
Carlos S. DaCosta,
Jason M. Gall,
Brian Paul Dale,
John DeLara,
Vincent Gerard Delgado,
Thomas A. Damascus,
Jack L. D'Ambrosi Jr.,
Janine Damiani Jones,
6.
Manuel Joao Zamota,
Patrick W.
Angel.
Donahue,
Mary D'Antonio,
6.
Vincent G. Dance,
Dwight Donald Dorsey,
Elizabeth
Come.
Ann Darling,
Girls.
Andrea Dottaran,
Edward A. Beatrice,
Michael D. Fioria,
Lawrence Davidson,
Guys, don't forget to make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you are liking today's stream, please make sure that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, helps my channel out. Please make sure you do that. It's important for my channel. Thank you.
Davis,
Clinton Davis Sr.,
Well, here comes the little one.
Wayne Terrill Davis,
Stretching her legs.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin Dawson,
Edward James Davis,
William Thomas Dean,
Robert J. DeAngelis Jr.,
Thomas Patrick DeAngelis,
Dorothy Alma de Araujo,
Anna Gloria Pocasangre de Barrera,
Tara E. DeBeck,
James E. Debonair,
Anna M. Devine,
James V. de Blasi Jr.,
J. Cyril Malabuyok de Chavez,
and my cousin Craig Damian Lavorde. Thinking about him in that day, I'm reminded of Romans 12:21. Do not be conquered by evil, but conquer evil with good. The good we do in honoring and remembering our loved ones today and every day is how we conquer the evil. Ceremonies such as this must be a mainstay to ensure their names live on for generations to come. This country and future Americans must never forget what happened here, and every innocent soul that was taken from us. May God bless my cousin. May God bless you and your loved ones. And may God bless the greatest country, the United States of America.
And my cousins, Maria Teresa Concepcion Santillan and Judy Hazel Santillan Fernandez, forever in our hearts and in our prayers. We love you dearly. We miss you so much. Continue to rest in peace. Continue to watch over us until we meet again.
Paul DeCola,
Gerald F. DeConto,
Simon Mirage Debucage,
Jason Christopher DeFazio,
David A. DeFeo,
Jennifer De Jesus,
Monique Effie De Jesus,
Lorena De Jesus,
Emmy De La Pena,
Donald Arthur De La Pena,
Azucena Maria De La Torre,
Vita Joseph De Leo,
Danielle Deli,
Andrea Della Bella,
Joseph A. Della Pietra,
Carmina Della Gatti,
Colleen Ann DeLowry.
Joseph
Thank you for joining me, guys, for today's live stream of the 9/11 terrorist attacks ceremony. Today's a day of remembrance of who lost their loved ones in the 9/11.
Carol Keys Demons,
If you're liking today's stream, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It is free to do, and it's important to do for my channel. Please make sure that you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Again, thank you for joining me for today's stream, guys, of today's 9/11 terrorist attack ceremony.
David Paul DeRubio,
Jamal Leguest DeSantis,
Christian Luis DeSimone,
Edward DeSimone III,
We'll be live here for sure, for a little bit longer. We'll be live here at the 9/11 terrorist attacks, but the stream will probably be ending about between 10 and 11 o'clock. We'll be ending the stream. So again, I would thank you very much for joining the stream today, guys. Again, it is important today of remembrance of 9/11 terrorist attacks ceremony, who passed away in the 9/11. Thank you for joining me, guys, for today. Again, if you liking today's stream, please make sure that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It is free to do, and it is important to do for my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and again, continue watching. We'll be again continue live here. Thank you for joining me for today's stream.
I thought you said to home.
Kasamali Danani,
Train 10/11.
Luis D'Agostino,
Matthew Diaz,
Nancy Diaz,
Angel, come here.
Diaz,
Michael
just being
A.
silly.
Diaz Piedra III,
Judith Fergus Diaz Sierra,
Patricia Florence DiCharo,
Rodney Dickens,
Just being silly.
Jerry D. Dickerson,
Joseph Dermot Dickey Jr.,
Lawrence Patrick Dickinson,
Michael D. Deal,
John DeFato,
We just being
Vincent
silly.
Francis DeFazio,
Carl Anthony DeFranco,
Donald Joseph
You
DeFranco,
wanna go to McDonald's
John
for me?
DiGiovanni,
Eddie A.
You
Dillard,
wanna go to McDonald's
Deborah
for
N.
mommy later?
DiMartino,
David DeMeglia,
Stephen Patrick Domino,
Yes, you
William
do.
John Dillon,
Marissa
I'll go to
DiMarco
hell
Short,
then.
Christopher Moore Hancock,
Jeffrey Mark Dingle,
Rena Sam Deneau,
Anthony Dionisio,
George DiPasquale,
Joseph D. Pilato,
Douglas Frank DiStefano,
Donald Americo Di Tullio,
Ramsey A. Doani,
Johnny Dr. Jr.,
John Joseph Doherty,
Melissa Candida Doy,
Brendan Dolan,
Robert E. Dolan Jr.,
and my uncle, Robert George McElveen. Uncle Bobby, my whole life my dad has said I reminded them of you. From the stories that I've come to know over the years, I can think of no greater compliment. We all miss you very much and want you to know that we are doing great. Life loves on.
and to my beautiful prima, Janine Nicole Gonzalez, On September 16, 2001, you would have been 26, and on Friday, you would have been 50. We love and we miss you dearly, and we know that we have a guardian angel looking down on all of us.
Neil Matthew Dollar.
James Delmonico,
Benilda Pasqua Domingo.
Alberto Dominguez,
Carlos Dominguez.
Jeremy Mark Patrick Dominguez,
Kevin W. Donnelly.
Jacqueline Donovan,
Hey, no, don't drink my coffee.
Stephen Scott Duffy,
Thomas Dow.
Kevin Christopher Dowen,
Mary Yolanda Dowling.
Raymond Matthew Dowman Sr.,
Frank Joseph Doyle.
Joseph Michael Doyle,
Randall L. Drake.
Patrick Joseph Dominguez,
Stephen Patrick Driscoll.
Chris A. Dominguez III,
Mirna A. Huerte.
Luke A.
Thank you for the kisses, Angel.
Christopher Michael Duffy.
Yeah.
Gerard J. Duffy,
Michael Joseph Duffy.
Thomas W. Duffy,
Antoinette Duger.
Jacqueline Zayek Dewitt,
Sariv Ducat.
Patrick Dunn,
Felicia Gale Dunn Jones.
Christopher Joseph Dunn,
Richard Anthony Dunstan.
Thomas John Patrick Thomas Dowie,
Joseph Anthony Ecovaci.
John Bruce Innocent,
Edward T. Earhart.
Robert Douglas Edison,
Dean Philip Eberling.
Margaret Reed Eckerman,
And my uncle, Brian Christopher Novotny. We have not forgotten, we will never forget.
and my cousin John Patrick Burnside, and I will never forget them.
Paul Robert Eckner,
Constantine Economos,
Barbara G. Edwards,
Dennis Michael Edwards,
Michael Hardy Edwards,
Christine Egan,
Lisa Erin Egan,
Martin J. Egan Jr.,
Michael Egan,
Samantha Martin Egan,
Carol Eckert,
Lisa Karen Ehrlich,
Here we go for the third moment of silence, guys.
John Ernest Eckler,
Eric Adam Eisenberg,
Daphne Erlinda Elder,
Michael J. Alvarez,
Mark Joseph Ellis,
Valerie Silver Ellis,
Albert Alfie William Almary,
Robert R. Elseth,
Edgar Hendricks Emery Jr.,
George Supreme,
And then, guys, we do have one more moment of silence coming up. But again, we have four together. We have 4 moments of silence together today of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Today's ceremony. We have one more moment of silence, and that's gonna be coming up very soon.
Vanny Espinosa,
Again, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you have liking today's stream, please make sure that you do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. And again, thank you for joining me for today's stream. It is a very important day today for the 9/11 terrorist attacks ceremonies from 2001.
Emily June Ewart,
Robert Edward Evans,
and my cousin, police officer Mark Joseph Ellis. You gave your life to save others. You are the true meaning of a hero. You will never be forgotten. God bless everyone in uniform. God bless America.
and my uncle, Cecile Solanke. We carry you with us every day in the memories we have of you and the love you showed us. We miss you and we love you. Patricia Mary Fagan,
Ivan Carrillos Fairbanks Barbosa.
Keith George Fairbairn,
Sandra Fajardo Smith.
Charles S. Falkenberg,
Dana Falkenberg.
Zoe Falkenberg,
Jamie L. Fallon.
William F. Fallon,
William Lawrence Fallon Jr.
Anthony J. Filoni Jr.,
Dolores Bridget Finelli.
Robert John Fangman,
John Joseph Fanning.
Kathleen Ann Farringer,
Thomas James Farino.
Nancy C. Zolniski Farley,
Paige Marie Farley Hackle.
Elizabeth Ann Farmer,
Douglas John Farnham.
John Gerard Farrell,
John W. Farrell.
Terrace Patrick Farrell,
Joseph D. Farrelly.
Thomas Patrick Farrelly,
Syed Abdul Fattah.
Christopher Edward Bogman,
Wendy R. Faulkner.
Shannon Marie Baba,
Bernard D. Favuza.
Robert Fazio Jr.,
Ronald Paul Fazio Sr.
William F. Feehan,
Francis Jude Feely.
Garth Erin Feeney,
Sean Bernard Fagan.
Lee S. Feeling,
Peter Adam Fiedelberg.
Alan G. Feinberg,
Rosa Marie Feliciano.
and my beautiful mother, Barbara P. Walsh. Today, Mr. Bloomberg told the families in the room that half of the world's population was born after 9/11. It's so important to keep their memory alive. Mom, we miss so much for always keeping your memory alive. We love you so much, and please continue to send us your signs.
And my sister Patricia A. Cody. I'd also like to mention FDNY Lieutenant Philip Petty and my friend Wayne Russo. May they all rest in peace.
Edward P. Phelps,
Edward Thomas Fergus Jr.,
George J. Ferguson III,
J. Joseph Ferguson,
Henry Fernandez,
Judy Hazel Santillian Fernandez,
Julio Fernandez,
Elisa Giselle Moreno,
Anne Marie Solari Forever,
Robert John Ferris,
David Francis Ferruggio,
Again, thank you for joining me for today's ceremonies, guys. We do have one more moment of silence coming up very soon, but thank you for joining me for today's ceremony. Again, it is an important day today to remember those who have lost their lives of the 9/11 terrorist attacks.
Samuel Fields,
Alexander Milan Philippou,
Michael Bradley Finnegan,
Timothy J. Finity,
Michael C. Fiore,
Stephen J. Fiorelli,
Paul M. Fiore,
John B. Fiorito,
John R. Fisher,
Andrew Fisher,
Bennett Lawson Fisher,
Gerald P. Fisher,
John Roger Fisher,
Thomas J. Fisher,
Lucy A. Fishman,
Ryan D. Fitzgerald,
Thomas James Fitzpatrick,
Richard P. Fitzsimmons,
Salvatore Flume Fredo,
Darlene E. Flagg,
Wilson F. Flagg,
Christina Donovan Flannery,
Eileen Flesha,
and my cousin Stephen J. Fiorelli. You are in our hearts forever, Steve. We love and miss you.
and my grandmother Louise A. Lynch, which I wish was here, but she may rest in our hearts.
Andre G. Fletcher,
Carl M. Flickinger,
Matthew M. Floco,
John Joseph Florio,
Joseph Walken Flounders,
Carol Ann Flyzik,
David Fodo,
Michael N. Fodor,
Stephen Mark Fogel,
Thomas J. Foley,
Jane C. Folger,
David J. Fontana,
Chi Min Fu,
Delrose E. Forbes Cheatham,
Godwin Ford,
Donald A. Foreman,
Christopher Q. Forsyth,
Claudia Alicia Foster,
Noel John Foster,
Sandra N. Foster,
Anna Fosterus,
Robert Joseph Fote,
Jeffrey Fox,
Virginia Elizabeth Fox,
Pauline Francis,
Virgin Lucy Francis,
Gary J. Frank,
Morton H. Frank,
Peter Christopher Frank,
Colleen L. Frazier,
Richard K. Frazier,
Kevin J. Foley,
Clyde Frazier Jr.,
Lillian Inez Frederick,
Andrew Fredericks,
Tamitha Freeman,
Brett Owen Freeman,
Peter L. Freund,
Arlene Ava Freed,
Alan W. Friedlander,
and my cousin Richie Frazier. Your legacy lives on in Aden. I pray that where you are, the beach in Nassau Point is perfect, the volleyball court is ready for a game, the bonfire is lit for everyone to sit around and hear one of your short stories. The Budweiser is always cold, and the Giants win maybe a few more Super Bowls. We love you and miss you terribly.
and to my sister, Corrine Gordon. On behalf of your sons, David and Tony, and the rest of the family, thank you for being our guardian angel. You live on in our hearts forever.
Andrew Keith Friedman,
Paul J. Friedman,
Craig J. Froner,
Lisa Ann Frost,
Peter Christian Fry,
Clement A. Fomondo,
Stephen Elliott Furman,
Paul James Fermata,
Carlton Douglas B. Fife,
Frederick Neal Gabler,
James Andrew Gadio,
Richard A. Gabrielle,
Irvin Vincent Gadio,
Pamela Lee Gaff,
Grace Catherine Galante,
Deanna Lynn Galante,
Daniel James Gallagher,
Anthony Edward Gallagher,
Lourdes J. Galletti,
John Patrick Gallagher,
Vincent Gallucci,
Pono E. Gallo,
Giovanna Galletta Gambale,
Thomas E. Galvin,
Gian F. Gamboa,
Thomas Gambino Jr.,
Peter James Dancy Jr.,
Ronald L. Gamboa,
Charles William Barberini,
Michael Gam,
Cesar R. Garcia,
Andrew Sonny Garcia,
Jorge Luis Moron Garcia,
David Garcia,
Marlon del Carmen Garcia,
Juan Garcia,
Douglas Benjamin Gardner,
Christopher Samuel Gardner,
and my father, Manuel Joao de Moda. Though we may have never met, I am honored to carry your name and legacy with me. I thank you for giving me this life and family, your wife Barbara, your sons, your brothers, and the rest of your family, from Portugal to Angola to Paraguay, all the way back to the United States. We love you and miss you every day. Love you, Dad.
Harvey Joseph Gardner III, and my son Paul. 22 years ago seems like yesterday. There are no words. You are and always will be our tower of strength. We love you. Mom and Dad.
Jeffrey Brian Gardner,
Thomas A. Gardner,
William Arthur Gardner,
Frank Garfield,
Rocco Nino Gargano,
James Ann M. Gartenberg,
Matthew David Garvey,
Bruce Gary,
Boyd Allen Gatton,
Donald Richard Gavigan Jr.,
Peter Allen Gay,
Terrence D. Gazzani,
Gary Paul Geidel,
Paul Hamilton Geyer,
Julie M. Geis,
Peter Gerard Galinas,
Stephen Paul Geller,
Howard G. Gelling Jr.,
Peter Victor Janko Jr.,
Stephen Gregory Genovese,
Elaine Gentle,
Linda M. George,
Edward F. Carity,
Susan Garrity,
Ralph Gerford,
Robert Gerlich,
Dennis P. Germain,
Marina Romanovna Gertzberg,
Susan M. Getzendatter,
Lawrence D. Getzfred,
James G. Geyer,
Cortez Gee,
Joseph M. Giacon,
Vincent Francis Giamona,
Deborah Lynn Gibbon,
James Andrew Giberson,
Brenda C. Gibson,
Craig Neil Gibson,
Ronnie E. Case,
Andrew Clyde Gilbert,
and my brother T.J. Hargrave, who I really, really miss. And to this day, there are times when I'll be at a new restaurant, or I'll hear a new band, or I'll see something in the news, and it brings me back to that day, this day 22 years ago, and I can't help but wonder what he went through. And we'll never know what he went through. They say that time heals all wounds. Well, I beg to differ.
and my brother, firefighter and paramedic James Nicholas Papageorge from Engine Company 23. Firefighters pulled them out, paramedics pulled them through. My brother did both. Losing my brother is like losing a constant companion in this journey of life. The pain truly never goes away. The memories of you and the love I have for you will always be in my heart. I love you.
Timothy Paul Gilbert, Paul Stewart Fielding, Paul John Gill, Mark Y. Giles, Evan Hunter Gillette, Ronald Lawrence Gilligan, Rodney C. Gillis, Laura Gilly, Jeffrey John Giordano, Donna Marie Giordano, John F. Ginley, Sean Giordano, Stephen A. Giorgetti, Martin Giovanasso, Kun Girolamo, Salvatore Gito, Cynthia Giuliano, Mon Jean Balage, Diane Gladstone, Keith Alexander Glasgow, Thomas Irwin Glasser, Edmund Glazer, Harry Glenn, Barry H. Glick, Jeremy Logan Glick, Stephen Glick, John T. Nazo, William Robert Gottschalk, Michael Galliormella, Brian F. Goldberg, Jeffrey G. Goldflam, Michelle Goldstein, Monica Goldstein, Stephen Ian Goldstein, Ronald F. Galinsky, Andrew H. Golkin, Dennis James Gomes, Enrique Antonio Gomez, Jose Bienvenido Gomez, Manuel Gomez Jr., and our Aunt Lucy Ann Fishman, who worked on the 105th floor of the South Tower, second building hit, first to go down. Aunt Lucy, today is the 22nd anniversary of your son's first day of preschool, and Anthony and I just had our first full day of high school. For young people like us, we only learned about this day in books as Patriot Day and remembrance. It is my hope that this will change and that all people will soon be able to celebrate the lives of those who perished on September 11, 2001 as a triumph over evil, and that your life and the lives of thousands of other people lost on that day was not in vain. The terrorists did not get what they were seeking, and they did not take down America the Beautiful. What they did too was take mothers and fathers and grandparents and aunts and uncles and beautiful souls away from their families and change generations forever. Living a comfortable life, my Aunt Lucy was many things: a softball coach, a church choir member, a volunteer, a wife, a homeowner, an American dreamer. She was living the American dream, but in the end, she would simply want to be remembered as Mom, her greatest success. For my family, she is the person that lost the most on that day. She did not get to finish her life, a life that she worked so hard for. She did not get to watch her son become a college graduate, her daughter get married, or enjoy the beautiful baby boy who is now her grandchild. She would have loved to raise her own children into adulthood and definitely enjoy the short time she had with them to the fullest. Thankfully, she lived her life out loud. And our family will forever cherish her life and all the lives that shaped what this country has become over the last 22 years. On September 11, 2001, while the terrorists aimed to cripple the American economy, show power, and rain terror on a free nation, a nation that has opened its doors and hearts to all hardworking people who seek freedom and the pursuit of a better life, including those of all races, colors, creeds, and ethnicities, America offers the freedom to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. And America has never wavered from that declaration under any circumstance, as we continue to stand one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For those 2,996 souls, and the more than 3,000 souls who died since then as a result of that day, those who proudly serve our country, especially in Afghanistan, may your families have peace and someday justice. For it is those people who lost the most on that day, the very most. God bless them and their families, and God bless America.
Well said. Amen.
Wilder Alfredo Gomez, Janine Nicole Gonzalez, Mauricio Gonzalez, Rosa J. Gonzalez, Lynn Catherine Goodchild, Calvin Joseph Gooding, Peter Morgan Goodrich, Harry Goody, Kiran Kumar Reddy Gopu, Catherine C. Gurayev, Lisa Fenn Bordenstein, Corrine Gordon, Sebastian Gorky, Kieran Joseph Gorman, Thomas Edward Gorman, Michael Edward Gould, O. Christian Osterholm White Gould, Douglas Allen Gower, Yuji Goya, John Richard Grabowski, Christopher Michael Grady, Edwin J. Graff III, David Martin Graveman,
And this is our last moment of silence, guys. This is our last moment of silence for the day. Thank you for joining me for the 9/11 terrorist attacks. It's an important day today to remember.
Gilbert Franco Granados, Lauren Catuzzi Grancolas and her unborn child, Elvira Granito, Winston Arthur Grant, Christopher S. Gray, Ian J. Gray, James Michael Gray, Tara McLeod Gray, John M. Grazioso, Timothy George Grazioso, Derek Arthur Green, Wade B. Green, Wanda Anita Green, Elaine Myra Greenberg, Donald Freeman Green, Gail R. Green, James Arthur Greenleaf Jr., and my brother Kevin James Murphy. Kevin, we love and miss you. Beth, Connor, and Caitlin know that you are with them every day. We have all had the privilege of seeing Beth's strength and the incredible job she has done, and we know how proud you are of your family. We're lucky to cherish the time we have together, and we are grateful to be part of their lives. They are close and loving as a family can be, and your spirit lives on with them. And I would also like to thank everyone who has been part of this memorial service for the past 22 years. You've been here with us to pay tribute to our loved ones and to make sure they are remembered and honored. Over the years, you have treated us with respect and with compassion. Your actions allow us to keep our focus on our family members who are no longer with us. Thank you all for being here with us. May God bless you, and may God bless America. And my grandfather, firefighter Robert James Crawford. Being your granddaughter is something I will always be so grateful for, and a title I am blessed to have. I'm so proud to be part of you and to be able to carry you with me wherever I go. Our hero, we love you to the moon and back. Keep watching over us. We know you're always close. Eileen Marcia Greenstein,
Elizabeth Martin Gray,
Denise Marie Gregory,
Donald H. Gregory,
Florence Moran Gregory,
Pedro Graham,
John Michael Griffin,
Tawana Sherry Griffin,
Joan Donna Griffith,
Warren Grifka,
Ramon B. Rojalvo,
Joseph F. Grillo,
David Joseph Grimner,
Francis Edward Grogan,
Linda Gronlund,
Kenneth George Rosales,
Joseph Grizelak,
Matthew James Bresnowski,
Robert Joseph Shar,
Lei Ming Gu,
Richard J. Guadagno,
Joseph A. Guadalupe,
Cindy Yan Ju Guan,
Jeffrey E. Goja,
Joseph P. Gullickson,
Babita Rejmati Guman,
Douglas Brian Gurian,
Janet Ruth Gustafson,
Philip T. Guza,
Barbara Guzardo,
Peter Mark Gulavari,
Gary Robert Heck,
Andrea Lynn Haberman,
Barbara Mary Habib,
Philip Hensler,
Nizam A. Hafiz,
Karen Elizabeth Haggerty,
Stephen Michael Haggis,
Mary Lou Haig,
David Halderman,
and my father, firefighter Michael Lyons, FDNY. On the birthday that we share, you would have been 55 this year. Your family, friends, and everyone you left will cherish the memories. We hold you in our hearts every day. We love and we miss you.
and my loving sister, my mother half, Chevon Lycia Mentis, WTC 1, 93rd floor, Marsh and McLennan. You're sadly missed by your family, friends, colleagues, especially our beloved mom, Bishop Myrtle Bazil. You're forever in our hearts. Continue to be our guardian angel. Miley Rachel Hale,
Diane Hale McKenzie,
Richard B. Hall,
Stanley R. Hall,
Basketball George Hall,
Robert J. Halligan,
Vincent Gerard Halloran,
Carolyn B. Halligan.
Again, I would thank everybody for joining me for today's stream, guys. It is now 10:08. We will be ending the stream in about 15 minutes from now. 15 minutes from now, we'll be ending the stream. Thank you for joining me, and again, we'll be continuing the stream until 11 a.m. Thank you for joining me for today's commencement ceremony of the 9/11 terrorist attacks from the States this morning.
Thomas Paul Hannaford,
Kevin James Hannaford Sr.,
Michael Lawrence Hannon,
Dana Ray Hannon,
Christine E. Hanson,
Peter Burton Hanson,
Sue Kim Hanson,
Vasilos J. Harness,
James A. Harron,
Gerald Francis Hardacre,
Jeffrey Pike Hardy,
T.J. Hargrave,
Daniel Edward Harlan,
Francis Harris,
Harvey L. Harrell,
Stephen J. Harrell,
Melissa Harrington Hughes,
Aisha N. Harris,
Stuart D. Harris,
John Patrick Hart,
Eric Bartono,
John Clinton Hartz,
Emmerich Harvey,
and my brother, Dennis Michael Edwards. A quick song from Marcel Michel. I will remember that. Come September, I will remember the happy days I spent with you. And as the years go by, I think of you and sigh. It's not goodbye, it's so long.
and my brother-in-law, Daniel Francis McGinley. Danny was a wonderful son to his mom, Connie, and dad, Daniel, a great brother and brother-in-law to Marty and Jen, Tom and Michelle, Mike and Wendy, and Dennis and Lyra, and uncle to all of their children. A terrific husband to Peggy, and a wonderful dad to Terrence, Maddie, Peter, Ann, and Pat. By his example, he showed me how to be a good brother-in-law. Is there any more you can receive from a man?
Peter Paul Hashem, Thomas Theodore Haskell Jr., Timothy Sean Haskell, Joseph John Hassan III, Leonard W. Patton Jr., Terrence S. Patton, Michael Hamlet Howe, Timothy Aaron Haviland, Donald G. Haviland Jr., Anthony Maurice Hawkins, Nabahiro Matsuo, James Edward Hayden, Robert J. Hayes, Philip T. Hayes, W. Ward Hines, Scott Jordan Hazelhorn, Michael K. Healy, Roberta B. Heber, Charles Francis Xavier Huron, John F. Heffernan, Michelle M. Heidenberger, Sheila M. S. Hine, H. Joseph Heller Jr., Joanne L. Hiltebrill, Ronald John Hemingway, Mark F. Hemscott, Ronnie Lee Henderson, Brian Hennessy, Edward R. Hennessy Jr., Michelle Marie Henrique, Joseph Patrick Henry, William L. Henry Jr., Katarina Henry Robinson, John Christopher Henwood, Robert Allen Pepper, Mary Adencia, Lindsay C. Harkness III, Harvey Robert Hermer, Roberto Hernandez, Raul Hernandez, and my cousin Porter, police officer, Christopher Amoroso. Mr. David, my father, don't think about you. You're our hero. That day you showed the whole world what the true hero is, and you're now forever our guardian angel. And my uncle, Colonel Charles Edward Jones, who loved and served this country proudly with the United States Air Force. We miss you, Chuck. Your legacy will always live on. Gary Harrell, Jeffrey Allen Hirsch, Thomas J. Hetzel, Leon Bernard Hayward, MC Sundance, Brian Christopher Hickey, and Amencio Dario Hidalgo Cedeno, Timothy Brian Higgins, Robert D. W. Higley II, Todd Russell Hill, Clara Victorian Hines, Neil O. Hines, Mark Hindy, Katsuyuki Hirai, Heather Malia Ho, Tara Yvette Hobbs, Thomas Anderson Hobbs, James J. Hogan, Robert Wayne Hobson III, Dewan Hodges, Ronald G. Horner, Patrick A. Cody, John A. Hofer, Marcia Hoffman, Stephen Gerard Hoffman, Frederick Joseph Hoffman,
Michelle L. Hoffman, Judith Florence Hoffmiller, Wallace Cole Hogan Jr., Thomas Warren Holbeck Jr., Jonathan R. Hawman, Cora Hidalgo Holland, John Holland, Elizabeth Holmes, Jimmy I. Holland, Herbert Wilson Homer, Thomas P. Hollahan, Bradley V. Horn, First Officer Leroy W. Homer Jr., United Airlines Flight 93, James P. Hopper, and my father, Mike Asher. In some ways, it still feels like 22 years ago, my second week of college, standing in my dorm room and knowing you were gone. But I know it's been 22 years since I'm able to stand here today. Dad, I miss you. I think of you all the time. I wish you were here to meet my wife and your beautiful granddaughter who's named after you. I know you'd be making her laugh. We love you and we remember you always. And my aunt, Kathleen Moran. The aftershocks of your death affected all facets of my life, even though I was not yet born when you died. I never met you, but you live on in my name, my soul, and my body and my blood. Now, to quote Martin Luther King Jr., true peace is not merely the absence of tension, but the presence of justice, which is why I will now acknowledge the 4.5 million...
So thank you for joining me again, once you guys, from today's 9/11 ceremony, coverage of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, 2001, and it's been 22 years since the 9/11. So thank you for joining me, guys, and we'll be staying live here for another 44 minutes. Please continue joining me. Again, thank you for joining today's stream for the 9/11 terrorist attacks, 2001, 22 years ago.
Charles J. Houston,
Uhuru G. Houston,
Angela M. Howard,
George Gerard Howard,
Brady K. Howell,
Michael C. Howell,
Stephen Leon Howell,
Jennifer L. Howley,
Milagros Ramada,
Marion R. Rechen,
Stephen Hutchko Jr.,
Chris Robert Hughes,
Paul Rexford Hughes,
Robert T. Hughes Jr.,
Thomas F. Hughes Jr.,
Timothy Robert Hughes,
Susan Huey,
Lamar Demetrius Pulse,
John Nicholas Humper Jr.,
William Christopher Hunt,
Kathleen Ann Hunt Casey,
Joseph Gerard Hunter,
Peggy M. Hurt,
Robert R. Husa,
Stephen N. Highland Jr.,
Robert J. Hemmel,
Thomas Edward Hines,
Walter G. Hines,
Joseph Anthony Iannelli,
Zutu Ibis,
Jonathan Lee Ayalepe,
Michael Patrick Eichen,
Daniel Ekanayev,
Frederick J. Ill Jr.,
and my husband, Thomas J. Fisher, we will never forget.
my sister, Maureen Lyons Olson. Death leaves a heartache no one can heal. Love leaves a memory no one can steal. Until we meet again, Rainey, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.
Abraham Nathaniel Ellis,
Anthony P. Infante Jr.,
Louis S. Inglaterra,
Christopher Noble and Grazia,
Paul Inella,
Stephanie
Veronica Irving,
Douglas Jason Ergang,
Kristen Irvine Ryan,
Todd Antione Isaac,
Eric Hans is Branson,
Taizo Ishikawa,
Walid Joseph Iskandar,
Adam Iskandarian Jr.,
John F. Iskian,
Kazushiki Ito,
Alexander Valerievich Ivansov,
Lacey Bernard Ivory,
Virginia May Yablonsky,
Brian C. Jack,
Brooke Alexandra Jackman,
Aaron Jeremy Jacobs,
Ariel Lewis Jacobs,
Jason Kyle Jacobs,
Michael G. Jacobs,
Stephen A. Jacobson,
Stephen D. Jacoby,
Ricknoff Jaggernoff,
Jake Dennis Yagoda,
Yudvir S. Jain,
Maria Jacobiak,
Robert Adrian Jalbert,
Ernest James,
Griselda E. James,
Mark Stephen Jardine,
Francois John Pierre,
Mohamedou Jawara,
E. Nicole Jarrett,
Maxima Jean Pierre,
Paul Edward Jeffers,
John Charles Jenkins,
and my father, Titus Davison, my hero, my cheerleader. Your memory lives on in your grandson, Pedro, that you never got to meet. We love you always. You're missed in Jamaica, Canada, and the United States. You'll never be forgotten.
and my aunt Joanne Smith Tabeek. Anybody that knew us know that she was more like my second mom, as well as my sister. We're always brother and sister. We tried that day. All the first responders, we tried. Just want to let you know that I love you. Thank you for bringing me to the towers since I was 5 years old. And I want to say a special thank you to our military, as well as SEAL Team 6, who on May 5th, 2011, completed a successful operation that helps ease some of our pain. Geronimo.
Joseph Jenkins Jr.,
Alan Keith Jensen,
Prem Nath Giraffe,
Sarah Judy,
Wadair Tien,
Eliza Jimenez Jr.,
Luis Jimenez Jr.,
Charles Gregory John,
Nicholas John,
Dennis M. Johnson,
LaShawnwa Johnson,
Scott Michael Johnson,
William R. Johnston,
Ellison Hortzman Jones,
Arthur Joseph Jones III,
Brian Leander Jones,
Charles Edward Jones,
Christopher D. Jones,
Donald T. Jones II,
Donald W. Jones,
Judith Walter Jones,
Linda Jones,
Mary S. Jones,
Andrew Brian Jordan Sr.,
Robert Thomas Jordan,
Albert Gunness Joseph,
Joseph,
Carl Henry Joseph,
Stephen Joseph,
Jane Eileen Josiah,
Anthony Joseph,
Angel L. Guarde Jr.,
Karen Sue Judet,
Ann C. Judge,
Michael F. Judge,
Paul William Jurgens,
Thomas Edward Jurgens,
Shashi Kiran Lakshmikanta Karava,
Galavroy Karma Denova,
Sherry Kendall,
and my cousin Matthew Carmen Toledo. You are loved, you are missed.
and my uncle, Łukasz Tomasz Malewski. I was never given the privilege to be around the amazing person he was, but through my mom's and grandparents' stories, I'm told he's seen a lot of me, and that's something I carry proudly. We love and miss you more every day. Howard Lee Kane, Jennifer Lynn Kane, Vincent D. Kane, June Koo Kane, Sheldon Robert Cantor, Deborah H. Kaplan, Robin Lynn Kaplan, Alvin Peter Kaplan Jr., Charles H. Karcheski, William A. Carnes, Andrew K. Cates, Charles L. Casper, Dennis G. Carpino, John A. Katamatides, Robert Michael Colfers, Don Jerome Kauth Jr., Hidea Kawauchi, Edward T. Keene, Richard N. Keene, Lisa Yvonne Carney Griffin, Carol Ann Kiesler, Barbara A. Keaton, Paul Hamlin Keaton, Leo Russell Keene III, Brenda Kegler, Chandler Raymond Keller, Joseph John Keller, Peter R. Kellerman, Joseph P. Keller, Frederick H. Kelly III, James Joseph Kelly, Joseph A. Kelly, Maurice P. Kelly, Richard John Kelly Jr., Thomas Michael Kelly, Thomas Richard Kelly, Thomas W. Kelly.
Again, guys, thank you for joining me for today's live stream of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Today's an important day to remember those who passed from 22 years ago from today. Again, we remember those from the 9/11 terrorist attacks, 2001. Again, it is a sad day of remembrance, and again, remembering those who passed and live on. Again, we'll be live here for another 33 more minutes left till we shut the stream off. We'll continue to be live here until 33 more minutes, and it will be, again, the stream will be ending at 11 a.m. Thank you for joining me.
Richard Michael Caggiano. Even though we never met, I always wonder how good of an uncle you've been. I will always love you, and you'll always hold a special place in my heart.
Thomas J. Kennedy, Yvonne E. Kennedy, John Richard Keohane, Ralph Francis Kershaw, Ronald T. Kerwin, Howard L. Kestenbaum, Douglas D. Ketchum, Ruth Ellen Kettler, Boris Calif, Norma Cruz Khan, Sarah Khan, Taymor Faraz Khan, Rajesh Handalwar, Seilei Ku, Michael Burden Kiefer, Satoshi Kikuchi Hara, Andrew Gabriel Kim, Lawrence Don Kim, Mary Jo Kimmelman, Heinrich Kimming.
Again, I would thank everybody for joining me today for live coverage of the 9/11 terrorist attacks 2001, 22 years ago. We'll be ending the stream very, very shortly, guys. So again, I would thank you for everybody that's joining me today. Again, please make sure that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Again, it is a sad day today for the 9/11 terrorist attacks 2001. And 9/11 Day today of remembrance of both past, before, and after the 9/11 terrorist attacks.
Richard Joseph Clarice, Peter Anton Klein, Alan David Kleinberg, Karen Joyce Klitzman, Ronald Philip Klepfer, Stephen A. Knapp, Eugenie Niazet, and my grandfather, George Velasquez. He was a security guard for Morgan Stanley. He means so much to my mom, so much to my uncles, so much to his wife, my grandmother, who despite having Alzheimer's still remembers him. And he means so much to those he evacuated. And because of that, he means so much to me. And my titi, Giovanna Torres. Titi, we miss you every single day. We know you're with us every single day. I wish you got a chance to meet your niece, Ava, who has your name as her middle name. I know you're watching over her every day, and I know you're watching over us every day.
Andrew James Knox, Thomas Patrick Knox, Rebecca Lee Kabori, Deborah A. Thomas, Gary Edward Heckler, Frank J. Hustler, Ryan Cohart, Vanessa Lynn Shivalo Kolpak, Irina Kolpakova, Suzanne Rose Hundred-Tenko, Abdullah Kone, Wong Seo Hu, Dorata Kopititsu, Scott Michael Kopitko, Bohan George Kostich, Danielle Husulis, David P. Kovecha, John J. Kren, William Edward Krakowski, Ludmila Cresido, Toshia Puge, Shekhar Kumar, Kenneth Bruce Humble, Frederick Wu Jr., Patricia A. Boras.
Again, guys, thank you for joining me for today's 9/11 commitments and ceremonies today. It is 9/11 Day today. It is a sad day. Again, thank you for joining me on the sad day today of remembrance from the 9/11 22 years ago today.
Jeffrey G. Latouche, Catherine L. Labori,
Remember those who passed before the 9/11 and right on the 9/11 day. Remember those who passed and continue their lives on the journeys. Again, thank you for joining me. It's been a very sad day. It's been a very hard day for people for the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Thank you for joining me today. Again, the stream will be ending within about 15 more minutes. We'll be ending the stream. But again, thank you very much for joining me for today's ceremonies. And we'll be back in next year to do this all over again.
my dear friends, Brian Bennett, John Candela, Michael Fort, Sean Lynch from Cantor, and my brother Thomas Harold Bowden Jr. Tommy, it's been 22 years and I miss your crooked smile.
Michael Patrick Lafort, Alan Charles LaFrance, Juan Mendez Lafuente, Neil Juan Wei Lang, Vincent Anthony Layeta, William David Lake, Franco Lalama, Chow Huang Lam.
Again, everybody, thank you for joining me for today's ceremony. Again, if you haven't hit the like button, please do so, and hit the subscribe button to be appreciated for my channels. Again, we'll be ending the stream very, very shortly. Again, thank you for joining me. And again, we'll be back next year to do this all over again for the 23rd year of the 9/11 terrorist attacks on New York City and the Pentagons. And whatever you are having with the 9/11 terrorist attacks, we're sorry to hear. Again, that is a very sad day today for those families who lost loved ones and moved on. Again, 9/11 day today is a very hard day today. People that lost loved ones, lost people before the 9/11 and around the 9/11 day. Again, we're sorry to hear, and again, it is a very sad day, very hard day. It's a remembrance of the 9/11 terrorist attacks today, of 22 years ago. And again, we will be live again. Again, we will be live next year, again here for the 23rd year of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, September the 11th. And we won't never forget the 9/11 terrorist attacks. We will never forget.
Charles A. Sorensen, Stephen James Lauria, Maria Lavash, Denise Francis Lavelle, Janine Mary Laverde, Anna.
Again, I would thank everybody for joining me on today's live stream for the 9/11 terrorist attacks on the Twin Towers and as well as the Pentagons. We'll do this again for the 23rd year, and next year we'll be doing it again. This is a very sad day, very hard day for the 9/11 people. Again, families, friends, relatives, sisters, brothers, and everywhere. That is very, very hard for them on the 9/11 day. Again, we remember those, and we will never forget the 9/11 terrorist attacks 22 years ago today. Next year is the 23rd year of the running of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. So we'll be back again next year to do this all over again. Again, thank you for joining me, guys. Our stream will be ending within 5 minutes. Thank you for joining me. Again, we'll be doing this again next year for the 9/11 terrorist attacks on the Twin Towers and the Pentagons.
May they feel our love. May they be honored always. And may there be
We'll never forget the 9/11 22 years ago today.
still suffering from 9/11's ongoing impacts.
David W. Lakecheck,
Eugene Gabrielle Lazar,
James Patrick Leahy,
Joseph Gerard Levy,
Neil J. Levy,
Robert G. LeBlanc,
Leon Labor,
Kenneth Charles Leday,
Alan J. Letterman,
Alina F. Ledesma.
Again, thank you very much for joining me, guys. Our stream's going to be ending within 5 minutes. So again, thank you for joining me. Again, we'll be back next year for the 23rd running of the 9/11 terrorist attacks on the Twin Towers and the Pentagons. We'll never forget them that passed away, families, friends, relatives, sisters, brothers. We'll never forget those people that have passed on the 9/11 day, firefighters and first responders that went in and tried to save lives, and they took their own lives in the terrorist attacks 9/11 on September the 11th of 2001, 22 years ago today. Again, we'll never forget. Well, we always will remember them. And again, thank you for joining me for today's stream. If you haven't liked today's stream, please do so and hit the subscribe button on your way in. We'll be ending our stream in 5 minutes. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll be back again next year to do this again, September the 11th, 2024. we'll be back again to do this again next year. The September the 11th, 9/11 day, 23 years from that point on. Thank you for joining me today's stream.
My uncle, John M. Poacher, a bond broker at Cantor Fitzgerald. We all miss you so incredibly much and will always carry on your memory with us. Love you forever and always.
And my son, Daryl LeBron McKinney, Tower 1, Cantor Fitzgerald. And his beautiful fiancée, Angela Rosario, which worked for Cantor also.
Again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so and hit the like button. It is free to do.
To stay united for 22 years.
And then we will be live here until 10:45 this morning.
We are living their legacy as it.
And again, thank you for joining me today's service. And we'll be back in next year to do this again.
Neil David Levin.
Robert Levine.
Robert Michael Levine.
Shahid Levenhar.
Daniel M. Lewin.
Adam J. Lewis.
Jennifer Lewis.
Kenneth E. Lewis.
Margaret Susan Lewis.
Yi Wei Liang.
Orasfri Liang Thanasarn.
Daniel F. Libretti.
Ralph Michael Lichardi.
Edward Lichtshine.
Samantha L. Lightborn Allen.
Stephen Barry Lilienthal.
Carlos R. Lilo.
Craig Damian Lalore.
Arnold Arboleda Lim.
Daria Lin.
Wei Rong Lin.
Nikki L. Lindo.
Thomas V. Linehan Jr.
Robert Thomas.
Again, guys, if you haven't hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, please do so. It is free to do on my channel.
Diane Teresa Lapari.
Again, we'll be ending our stream momentarily. So again, please join me again next year for this. Again, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you haven't done so. And then we'll be back again next year to do this again. Thank you very much for joining me. Again, the 9/11, 2023, the 9/11, September the 11th of 2021, 22 years ago today. Remember those who passed and live on. We'll always remember them, and we won't forget. Thank you for joining me. Again, we'll be back next year to do this again. Of the 9/11, September the 11th of 2024, of 2021, terrorist attacks of 9/11. We'll be back again next year for this again. Thank you for joining me for today's commitment ceremony. We'll be back again next year. Thank you for joining me, guys, and enjoy your rest of your day. Again, we always remember the 9/11 terrorist attacks. We'll never forget of 2021. And again, we'll never forget. We'll always remember. Again, enjoy your rest of your day, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. It has been a sad morning for those people that lost their loved ones. But thank you for joining me. We'll be back again next year to do this again. Thank you for joining, and have a good day, guys.